all know how dominating Des Marinas can be, but it was the youngest amongst Pasay players. Kasama niya nga mga veterano, but she still managed to give out 11 points composing of 9 attacks and 2 blocks.
The youngest with the biggest energy, and you're talking about the veteran noon naman sa kabila. It's Caloocan. Of course, this is not the season that they wanted. Mas gugustuhin pa sana nila na mas makapag-perform ng maganda. But Shika Espinosa continuously stepping up, whether it's in a different role or position.
Exactly, and even with their loss, it was really Shika's presence that and leadership that stood out for her team. And as you can see here, even while that, I would say, heartbreaking loss because of sunod-sunod na pagkatalo, she still managed to give out 10 points, composing of 9 attacks and 1 ace.
I would say that Caloocan will now be playing without any sort of pressure. Yan ang posible nating makita sa kanila in this second round meeting. And to know more about both of these teams, let's head over to our courtside reporter, Quinn. What's up?
Now that the eliminations are nearing their end, it's clear that low morale is starting to show, lalo na para sa Caloocan AM Lady Spikers na nakita ko rin mismo kay head coach Michael Palermo. But if we think that it's any different with their opponent, the Pasay City Lady Voyagers, dyan tayo nagkakamali. Lalo pa that they know na hindi lang nakasalalay sa kanila ang semifinals, ang kanilang semifinals berth, but also on how well Team Negros will be performing in the remaining games, with their standings also close. But just how their morale is equally low, they both want to end their elimination strongly. Hans and Lois.
Salamat, Quinn Barcarce, for that. It's kind of, you know, difficult and painful kasi wala na sa kanilang kamay eh. Or nasa kanila pa rin naman, pero meron na ring depende sa mga magiging laro ng iba. But of course, para sa inyo, hindi nyo na kailangan dumepende sa iba para malaman ng mga resulta dito because you can catch all the games live and free exclusively on pusopi.com. Your game, your community. Join now. Powered by Smart, the official telco partner of the MPVA. Special thanks to our media partner, Smart Sports and Puso Pilipinas. This is Caloocan kontra sa kupunan ng Pasay. One team playing without any pressure and the other looking to fight for more tournament life. We're gonna be tossing it over right back at mas malalaman natin ang aksyon sa aming pagbabalik.
Presenting our officials for our match number 46. First referee, Mr. Aiko Taro. Second referee, Mr. Paul Framil. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here at Des Marinas City Arena, and this is the second season of Manny Pacquiao's Maharlika Pilipinas Volleyball Association, a Liga para sa lahat. This is the first match of our triple-header game, a game between Caloocan AM Spikers versus Pasay Lady Voyagers. And now let's meet the starter six for both teams. First is for your Caloocan AM Spikers, led by their team captain, center number 8, Shika Espinosa. Outside hitter number 5, Percy Neva. Middle blocker number 6, Angelique Ledesma. Another outside hitter, number 7, Biñan Juanilio. Opposite hitter, number 9, Rhea Manalo. Another middle blocker, number 6, Swansea Dahab. And their libero, number 4, Honey Lasorna. And their coach, Michael Palermo. And now let's meet the Pasay Lady Voyagers. With their middle blocker, number 2, Phoebe Astillero. Outside hitter, number 11, Krisha Cosman. Middle blocker, number 16, Angel Antobesto. Opposite hitter, number 23, Flores Papa. Outside hitter, number 22, Aiko Urdas. Setter, number 25, Benice Puzon. And their first libero, number 13, Gail Valdez. And their coach, Coach Camille Levanto.
Your starters para sa Caloocan, it's Espinosa, Dahab, Ledesma, Nieva, Juanilio, Manalo at Lacerna. Para naman sa Pasay, it will be led by Puzon, Astilla, Antipuesto, Papa, Cosmod, Ordas at Valdez. On the first look, Caloocan kind of losing multiple players here, Lois. It's the effect of not having Raslan, rather, and their two setters. Kasi si Espinosa, pangalawang sunod niya na laro na to that she will not be having or she will be playing as the center.
Exactly. So we'll see how itong mga nawawalang players will be filled in. Especially itong role nga ni Espinosa being the setter for Caloocan. At malaking pagbabago ito, itong mga adjustments. And we'll just see if they have prepared for this. Of course, again, even if they may be out of contention, they still wanted to end on a good note.
El Capitana just putting herself, stepping up para sa kanyang kupunan. And that will first be delivered in favor of the AM Spikers. That's a point for Nieva.
And Spears now starting this point para dito sa Caloocan. Makita natin how effective at I would say yung communication that Espinosa has being the setter with that performance coming from Nieva.
Thus had to adjust. Ledesma had to drop it. And that's 2 straight points para sa Caloocan.
Now we're seeing itong kung gaano ka-effective na yung mga plays coming from Caloocan.
Lois, you've been mentioning kanina the concept of the first ball. I think it's Caloocan working on that and doing it pretty well. Lacerna sets it now for Manalo. 3 in a row for the AM Spikers.
As you can see right now, yung distribution ng bola, maganda pa rito sa Caloocan. You already have 3 players contributing coming from the attack. And now, it tells a lot about how Pasay is performing right now. They now need to work on their defense, especially if they wanted to maintain their standings.
But that standing, just like what you've mentioned, kailangan nilang mapanatili yan, possibly even go up the standings if they want to. Antipuesto opens the board.
Of course, every point and match matters from this point forward para dito sa Pasay.
First ball safely secured. Pasay through Ordas. That goes off the block and that's a point. 2 in a row for Pasay.
I think now Pasay is slowly recovering and I think they were able to identify kung ano yung mga lapses nila from the first 3 points. We're seeing attackers activated.
Still a good sign for Caloocan. They're getting their first ball pretty well. But the counter attacks from Antipuesto and Pasay ties it all up.
Just the right placement for Antipuesto. As you can see on the side of Caloocan, medyo may hesitation. Especially kung sinong kukuha ng bola from that attack.
All 3 make that 4-3 after an ace. as Cosmo, the queen of the court, introduces himself or herself in this game.
We're seeing improvements. I think nagpainit muna itong Pasay, especially with the first 3 points na sunod-sunod na binigay ng Caloocan.
Now they go to the left to challenge. And Juanillo will be answering back. Maganda yung bitaw ng dalawa nating mga teams so far. There's a lot of different options, so they leave the defense guessing.
And yung unusual na starter itong si Juanillo. But it's good that she was given an opportunity to showcase what she got, and that long ball from that last sequence did work for her.
Getting her first point. But that was Ordaz getting it in between defenders that give Pasay the lead.
And I would say it's a very effective attack coming from Urdas. There's enough power and speed in that ball.
Cut shot off angle. Tough pass leads to a free ball. Tumanalo breaks through the wall and gets another point.
And if you can notice yung contribution ng mga puntos para dito sa Caloocan, from that 5 points, madami nang na-activate itong si Shika Espinosa.
And that's courtesy of Nieva getting really good first balls here. Goes for a block. Papa's rejected. Ordaz gives a free ball away. Juanillo again. Caloocan keeping it alive. Ordaz locks it in for another point.
Of course, when in doubt, especially we wanted na tapusin itong mahababang rally.
And that was a power spike presented by Smart Power All 99 load now. Lois, you were saying?
Of course, it was really Ordaz, one of the reliable players and veterans para dito sa Pasay.
Papa wants to keep on introducing herself in this game. One of the bright spots doon sa kanilang nakaraang laban. Flores gets her first point.
And we just wanted to see more performance from Papa. So, no, she's an advantage for this team.
Espinosa tries Juanillo again, changing the angle and getting a point para sa Caloocan.
I think it's also a strategy of Caloocan of how well distributed yung mga sets. Because for Pasay, di na nila ma-identify kung kanino ba ibibigay yung bola.
What an attack. That's just right at the middle, making it too easy for them to retrieve it. Hawak na ng Pasay ang Kalamangan. That will be them on the board in this first technical timeout.
Projects, plans, play, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now!
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
A dream come true in the face of adversity. Caloocan AM Spikers enter today's match missing 4 players, including both setters. With no options left, Coach Michael Palermo turns to his team captain, Shika Espinosa, to take over the setting duties. Frustration is real daw para kay Coach Michael with key players tied up with prior commitments. But for Shika, this moment is bittersweet. From outside spiker to libero to middle blocker, she finally steps into her dream role as setter, even if it comes at a tough time for the team. In the end, Shika stands as the steady heartbeat of Caloocan, rising when her team needs her the most. Back to you, Hans and Lois.
She is an all-around captain, if you would say. Maraming salamat, Quinn Barcarce. Lois, would you go play setter if you were given the opportunity. Lalo na ngayon na wala silang setters. Would you take that just like how Sheikah did?
Well, if you really wanted to win, of course, merong mga motivation to as a team. But of course, playing as a setter, it may look easy, pero hindi eh. Yun yung utak ng game. Usually, especially for the volleyball fans na hindi pa ganun ka-familiar with how setter make decision, sobrang hirap talaga ng role niya yan eh.
That's why she is the heartbeat. Just like what Quinn has mentioned. A set that worked well. Still retrieved by Pasay. Squeezing it through the tight defense. That was Cosmod yet again.
Again, Cosmod also proving why she was hailed as the queen of the court from their previous match.
Pasay now going for a bit more comfortability. Landing on a point yet again. Here's Nieva. Delivers to Cosmod and finds the floor for another point.
Again, Cosmod found a way to get through the blockers. Of course, I would say saved by the net as well.
Caloocan didn't even expect for it to go in. Currently 7-11. Make that 7-12 after an error mula kay Nieva. Coach Mike doesn't like what he's seeing here. He's gonna have to talk to his girls for this timeout. And I hope we're gonna listen in on them right now.
Mataas yung bola, hindi natin ina-attempt kunin. Hinahayaan lang natin. Actually, kanina pa may ganun din, yung katwad sa gitna. Kung kayang kunin natin, huwag yung sayangin. Kasi girls, pag yan lumayo ng lumayo, mahirapan na tayo. Okay?
Galang! Alpas lang!
You've already mentioned how Pasay was able to build up on this lead. Pero ano bang ginagawa na mali dito ng Caloocan over the last 5 possessions? Kung bakit ganito na lang kataas yung lamang?
Well, I think kanina nga, they had the momentum already. They already got 3 points from the start of the set. But I think what's lacking right now, as you can see, meron ng difference dun sa mga receptions nila eh. Kasi, especially if they're struggling right now without their main setter, dapat lahat ng bola maayos papunta dito kay Sheikah Espinosa.
Look at that dive. Ordas fighting for it too. Sheikah gives it to Nieva again. Cosmod received. A quick. Still retrieved by Biñan. Free ball para sa Pasay. That was enough. But somebody was caught dancing around the net. An error para sa Caloocan gives a point to the Lady Voyagers.
This is also one of the things na kailangan i-avoid nitong Caloocan. Of course, they're being up against an opponent na merong strong motivation to go up more in the team standings.
But the goal of this Caloocan team is to lower down what seems to be a lead here, and that's definitely going to help them. This is now 8, serving 13. That goes out. Sheikah returns the favor.
And again, if I were Caloocan, I wanted to minimize the errors.
Sheikah goes to Rhea. Somebody has it. Venice once more. Papunta kay Antipuesto, but that will be given another free ball. Kabila naman. The idea for a down-the-line shot was denied by our officials.
That was somehow a good attempt for Cosmo. As you can see, walang tao dun sa zone na yun. But miscalculated on that hit.
Another attack. That rolls off. This time, free ball para sa Caloocan. They give it to Rhea, but that's too high.
Again, errors are piling up on the side of Caloocan. If you're someone na naghahabol sa puntos, least thing that they can do is to minimize the errors.
And they have the chances. Just couldn't capitalize on it, just like what you said. Here's another right at the back. Another point for Pasay as Flores Papa gets another point to build up a much comfortable lead para sa Lady Voyagers, 16-9, heading into the second tech timeout.
Projects, plans, play, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now!
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
Catch all the games live and free exclusively on pusopi.com. Your game, your community. Join now. Also powered by Smart, the official telco partner of the MPVA. Special thanks to our media partners Smart Sports and Puso Pilipinas. At Puso din, ang kailangan ng Caloocan dito as they are down big. Rhea tries to go for the smart play, just not the best way to do it.
Exactly. And I think it was a good intention. As you can see here, maganda yung attempt niya to target first line zone. But Antipuesto was there. Their presence of mind.
Regalo na naman. That was Antipuesto accepting the gift with joy.
We can see improvements, especially with Antipuesto's performance, really guarding that net.
And keen observation here. First balls, some of them not starting to fall, pero yung possession na yon, they need more of that as another point for Juanillo goes in.
You can see yung contributions ni Juanillo dito. She knows how to take advantage of the blocker's hands. And once she's activated, very efficient in terms of attacks.
You know, for someone who isn't being inserted into the starting lineup so much, she is the leading scorer of this team right now. Pero idadagdag din natin ang service ace nitong si Angela Desma, putting a mini run, 2-0 ang Caloocan. Taken right back.
This is, again, I've been mentioning, na kailangan i-minimize ng Caloocan.
Shika had to adjust. Dahab wanted to drop, but the block was there from Pasay and Ordaz. Too much pressure. Read like a book was Zonchi. And that's gonna be Caloocan calling a timeout. Let's listen to them right now.
Tela kayo. Wala tayong interest eh. Ha? Wala tayong momentum. Maging mo tayo lang kaya may momentum tayo, okay? Tika, sure set lang tayo ha. Basic setting lang.
You just heard Coach Mike Palermo adding a bit more info para dito kay Shika Espinosa. She's not putting too much pressure on her kasi alam niya na this is one of the most difficult positions to be in whenever you play, especially pag hindi ka sanay dun.
And of course, also, Coach mentioned mga easy set lang. And I think one of the things that Caloocan can do right now, especially for the attackers, is to make adjustment because they all know kung ano yung kulang sa kanila ngayon.
Joust in midair. Shika gives it to Rhea. Not enough to break. Aiko finding the hole in between defenders.
The attacks coming from Pasay, it's as if parang easy na lang eh. And I think one of the reason is because of hesitations para talaga dito sa Caloocan. As you can see, yung trajectory ng bola makikita naman, but nobody attempted to at least defend yung attack coming from Urdas.
Manalo. Now that's a decisive play and a point through the help of decision.
Course, what a way to redeem the results. And now we're seeing Tanagan replacing itong si Rhea Manalo on the service line. As we can see here, it's also an advantage for Tanagan to become the service specialist because she can also defend the back row.
Especially, yeah,
Previously as a libero.
during their last games, no? So the adjustments are really there. Tanagan right on cue. Everybody diving for the ball, but not enough to keep it in play as another point is scored by Pasay.
I think medyo nagulat sila on that part. Somehow it was still a good save. You can see yung save ni Juanillo. Good effort there.
That was Astilia with another point. Close to the net it is. And that would be enough for Dahab to get her first point in this game.
And an easy point for Dahab. Not much power was exerted. But it did work on our end.
And I think that's another point. And rotational fault ang itatawag kontra sa Pasay. Caloocan's gonna need every break that they can get, and they're very happy with that.
And of course, it's time to take advantage. Kasi 3 puntos na lang ang kinakailangan ng Pasay.
And that's an ace. You're talking about 3 points. Those 3 points have been consecutive para sa Caloocan as of late.
And kanina, hinihingi nga ni coach yung momentum. And I think itong performance ni Juanillo could somehow boost the morale of her team.
And there it goes again. This time, Pasay naman ang nagkakaroon ng errors. And that is quite difficult para sa Pasay. Their struggle to close out games are starting to appear yet again. Kaya naman magkakaroon ng pag-uusap ngayon ang Pasay at ang ilan sa kanilang mga manlalaro. This is them 3 points away. But there's 4 straight na kinumit ng Caloocan dun.
Exactly. And just wanna go back dun sa performance ito ni Juanillo. As you can see kanina, yung service niya, she got an ace, but the following, although hindi yun ace, that service still managed na bigyan ng pahirap itong Pasay.
It's a 4-0 run. Juanillo giving them such a hard time. Another free ball for them. Shika gives enough space for Dahab to score.
And Dahab did found a good spot there. It's an effective cross-court hit for Sonsi Dahab.
Sonzi getting 5 straight points. But inevitably, ang pinakamahirap mong kalaban ay ang iyong sarili as Juanillo commits an error there. Puts a halt on the momentum. But Nieva plans to take it back, not gonna happen. Back row. Shika. Still wanted to go, not the best angle there. Oh, what a 1-2. Buzon finding the middle.
And it's a very good decision there from Pasay. And I think in shock pa talaga itong Caloocan with that performance.
Still setting up their defense they wanted. Pero hindi ganun ang nangyari. And another free ball awarded to Pasay, with Astilia waiting in the air to finally put the icing on the set 1 cake. What a dominant start and a better finish for the Pasay Lady Voyagers. They lead by 1 set, 25-17. We'll be back for the second set.
Only projects, plans, play, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now!
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
Tara, sama-sama nating tuklasin ang ganda at galing ng aming maunlad na syudad, ang lungsod ng Dasmariñas, kung saan umuusbong ang kamangha-manghang industriya ng komersyo at turismo. Isa rin sa dinadayo sa aming lungsod ang mga resorts na nagagandahan at mga restaurants na tiyak na babalik-balikan. Napahanga rin ang mga turista sa aming mga infrastruktura na tunay na pag-unlad ang ipinapakita. Hatid nito ang mas mabilis at maayos na serbisyo para sa bawat Dasmariñeño, maging sa mga bumibisita rito. Tas makulay ang kasaysayan. Tas maganda ang kalagayan. Tas masaya ang mamamayan. Kultura, komersyo, turismo. Tara na! Dasma tayo!
(25-17). It was a pretty good run. Galing dito sa Caloocan right from the start, but eventually Pasay got their groove to take this first set.
Well, for this set, nakita natin Caloocan did start off strong with more attacks and even aces. However, it was really Pasay's efforts. Well, we've seen well-distributed plays for the attackers, and it paved the way for Pasay to get the first set because of their attacks and blockings as well.
Looking at the stats right now, there's been a glaring issue in 2 specific departments. Those are the attacks and the opponent errors.
I would say hindi naman ganun kanalalayo itong mga blocks and aces. Even itong Caloocan, dumamang pa nga. Of course, courtesy of Juanillo, one of the players that stood out para dito sa ating first set on the side of Caloocan. But however, as you can see here, dumami yung mga errors na nagpamigay nitong Caloocan over Pasay.
And those were, I would say, at the crucial points na dapat sana ay makakabawi na sila. Caloocan probably had to talk things through in between sets. But they're gonna give a free ball for their first possession. Tapo na lang. Still works para kay Ledesma.
And, you know, what's lacking on the side of Caloocan is how they're struggling to remain consistent, especially with the defense. Yung floor defense nila, that's something that they need to work on. Because attack is there, their presence of mind dito sa net is also an edge para dito sa Caloocan. But consistency, it seems to be lacking.
Have to get more reps in. Ball still alive. Puzon. Another free ball given. Shika wants it cleaner. Kept in play still. Oh, Espinosa. She wanted to go for the back, just couldn't convert.
I think it was somehow an attempt for a 1-2 play. Never, hindi lang na-execute ng maayos.
It was there. You see space. Just can't find it in. Puzon now chooses Aiko, who goes way out, and that's a point given for Caloocan.
Well, medyo napasobra lang itong iwas ni Urdas from the blocker's hands.
Can't drop it down. AM Spikers have the lead. Oh, great moment of attack there. Puzon to antepuesto para sa puntos.
And it's good that we're now seeing activation of the middle. And this tells a lot about good receptions. Also courtesy for Pasay's libero.
There were 3 points from Antepuesto in that first set. And quite unfortunate para dito kay Antepuesto. She was there and she had the set. Not the best. Caloocan gets another. Shika goes for the service. Was very tight from where we're looking, but it goes to the greener side of things. It's out.
Now we're seeing another error coming from Shika Espinosa.
And I believe that's another rotational fault. Pero ngayon naman, sa Caloocan yun. So this will be a free point for Pasay.
And I'm sure Antepuesto is grateful for that error kasi yung service niya outside.
It all worked out. AM gives another free ball. Papa takes it home for another point.
Because of that powerful attack, Sena wasn't able to defend and control that ball.
And you gotta love the approach too. Great set. Moves on for Das. Had to adjust, pero nagawan pa ng paraan.
Dito natin makikita kung gaano ka-veterano itong mga performance ni Urdas. Not that good of a set, but still managed to make wonders para dito sa kanyang mga atake.
Sorry ka agad. Itong si Venice Puzon. Wants to make up for it. Antepuesto. Tosses it a little high. But that goes out. So Caloocan still hanging on with some of the errors na ginagawa dito ng Pasay.
Exactly. And para dito naman, medyo I would say miscommunication para dito sa spikers and setter ng Pasay.
That's an ace. Secured by Nieva. They've been trying that back row for quite some time now and it finally lands a hit.
Napakaganda ng service na yun. Kasi biglang bumaba. Nobody anticipated na papasok pa.
And it looks like that's another ace. Para kay Percy Darabella Nieva. They need to build up on somewhere, and this is exactly the place to be.
Itong mga performance ni Nieva is something that Caloocan needs.
Phoebe Astilia getting a point. That was them securing a little bit more of what has happened.
As you can see, easy ball eh. Adjustment na yung ginawa nito ni Astilia.
At
Now,
kaliwa pa yun, no? But it's an error. And I feel like, Lois, you have a lot of things to talk about later after this break. But let me cut you off because it's 8-6 in favor of Pasay.
Plans, play, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now!
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
Sa timeout, hindi na nagpaligoy-ligoy si Coach Ana Abanto. Sabi niya, ayusin nyo, wala pa akong ginagawa. Ramdam ang inis, lalo na sa receiving issues na nabanggit na rin ni Team Captain Iya Kimson bago pa magsimula ang game. Kapag sablay daw ang basic, sablay din ang galaw, kaya medyo hirap sila. Aminado rin si Iya na hindi lahat ng ginagawa nila sa training lumalabas sa laro. Pero biro niya, bilang team na medyo maraming uniformed personnel, ayaw ata ng team namin ng madali. Yung akala naming bilog na papasukin namin sa ligang ito, mas lalo pang lumiliit. Imbes na naglalakad, gusto ata namin gumagapang. Still, they'll make sure they'll do their best and will end this season strong. Back to you, Hans and Lois.
Whether it's crawling, whether it's walking or running, as long as you're moving forward, that's the idea that Pasay needs to have. Salamat, Quinn Barcarce, for that report. Pero tama nga naman, no? Ba't pahihirapan mo pa yung sarili mo in certain cases as there's another block that has happened in favor of Caloocan there. Pero may bawi ka agad after another error was returned mula sa Caloocan.
Well, para dito sa Pasay, a lot of errors were given out, especially for this set. And medyo lumalapit yung mga scores. Of course, Caloocan knows how to take advantage of those errors. And if we can recall, itong last match-up nila, Caloocan managed to get at least one set. So, we'll see if mauulit nila itong attempt.
If you're Pasay, you don't want that to happen. Hanggat maaari, gusto mo lahat ng puntos sa'yo. And I would say they're in a decent position to do that. It's 10-7 now. Lands on for Ledesma. An attack that goes left, works right para kay Cosmod.
Of course, it was a good attack. Even managed na tumama dun sa kamay ni Rhea Manalo. I think medyo na-late din siya dun sa pagbasa ng bola.
Would have been a free ball. And you see Coach Mike immediately standing up, acknowledging that this was not the body language he wanted. Let's listen in to Caloocan.
Iangat nyo para mahabol ni Chica at mayangat pa niya sa spiker. Hindi kasi niya kayang iset yung gano'n dahil hindi naman siya katulad nila Yap, nila Dolan, okay? Girls, relax. Sige. Magati para yung end. Go, 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 go.
This timeout ni Coach Mike Palermo was specifically a personnel reminder. You don't have Julan, you don't have Yap, but you're gonna have to work with what you have and make it easier for your captain.
Exactly. And there's a lot of ad-libs that Caloocan have been doing right now. And kanina, I've been mentioning this, na they need to have good passes. Because ang role na lang nito ni Chica Espinosa is an easy set. So it's also up to the defenders on how they'll be able to pass a good ball para dito sa kanilang temporary setter na si Chica.
An attack once more. Cosmod and Pasay very ecstatic with that spike.
Cosmod being one of the consistent players para dito sa Pasay.
Cosmod now having 5 points. And that's the ball Chica wanted. That goes pretty well para kay Biñan Juanillo.
So, Bien Juanillo, again, been mentioning na hindi nga siya starter. But now, she already contributed 5 points as well para dito sa kanyang kupunan.
Emilio goes a little high on the serve. Another attack. Cosmod has been unstoppable on that side.
And as you can see from that attack, kanina niya pa nalulusutan yung mga kamay ng mga blockers. And for Caloocan, walang follow-up coverage for the blockers.
Luzon does a solid serve. Regalo para kay Antipuesto, and that's another point for Pasay.
And we all know how good Antipuesto is into guarding their net. So kapag mayroong mga regalo, you know, she can manage to kill the ball.
Angel already having 5 points. You're looking at Coach Camila Banto. Very stoic. You never know what she thinks. But I'm sure that after this technical timeout, dahil dun sa mga errors, she will have a say on what's happening. But for Antipuesto, the silver lining in the consistent woman of set number 2, she places us at another technical timeout with Pasay having a 6-point lead.
Projects, plans, play, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now!
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
Catch all the games live and free exclusively on pusop.com. Your game, your community. Join now. Also powered by Smart, the official telco partner of the MPVA. Special thanks to our media partners Smart Sports and Puso Pilipinas. You're still watching Manny Pacquiao's MPVA Season 2 ang Liga para sa lahat. It's a 6-point advantage ng Pasay. Also a set of an advantage ng Pasay. And that was another good thing happening para kay Cosmod, near the net and far from it as a service ace happens.
We have seen how well she can contribute para dito sa kanilang opensa.
There's really something about Cosmod. When she plays against Caloocan, she wants to replicate her Queen of the Court performance from the first round.
Now, we definitely agree to that. So, kanina, flushed dun sa screen is 7 points now. She managed to make it 8. Unfortunately, with that error. This is an opportunity for Caloocan now.
Parang mahirap yata, Lois, na masyadong pinupuri, no?
It's the commentator's jinx.
Probably gonna chill on it for quite a bit, but it depends kung babalik siya as Ordaz. That seems to be a favorite. And another point para sa Lady Voyagers.
And dito, sa second set, medyo tumahimik si Ordaz, but now it's good to see that she was able to contribute another point for her squad.
Dude, it's Cosmod with 8, Ordaz with 7, and Antipuesto with 6. It's Pasay firing on all cylinders here. But that's a smart play. Nagaling dito kay Nieva.
Dara Neva with that smart move. Of course, being considered as one of the veteran players now para dito sa Caloocan.
Still wanted to go. Give this a close fight, but it goes out. Would have worked so well for Pasay had it not go out.
It's a very good leap yung buwelo nito ni Papa is really aiming to kill the ball.
Flores also part of the Pasay 6 now. Melendres couldn't convert, and a free ball again for AM Spikers. Manalo locks it in for a point.
Now Manalo also back para dito sa points for her team.
Chases on, and free ball keeps the action in play. Quick. Papa na naman. Juanilio gets another.
Now Juanillo still remains the top scorer for this match para dito sa Caloocan.
That's 6 points para kay Bien Juanillo. Coach Camille Abanto not happy with their performance so far. It was, I think, somewhere around 19 to 10 or 19 to 12. Pero biglang bulusok. First balls making it so much easier for Shika to set.
Exactly, and I think we're seeing more improvements para dito sa depensa ng Caloocan.
Feels like there's more variety to their attacks now than the first time they were here sa City of Dasmariñas Arena. By the way, you can watch all of the games right over here if you guys are nearby. Gotta have some answers. Caloocan wants to build up and continue. And that will be the case. Manalo gets one more point.
Again, there's just too much power on that attack. And of course, yung hand placement ng blocking itong Pasay, one of the reason kung bakit nag-outside din itong attempt nila to block the attack of Manalo.
Free ball yet again. Melendres sets it up. And down goes the ball. Point for Manalo.
And Manalo's is really on fire in the attacking department.
Oh my gosh, is that a 7-0 run? Red hot Caloocan AM Spikers look to build up on it again.
And slowly, Caloocan is recovering. And ilang puntos na lang kinakailangan to be at par with Pasay's 19.
Attack action continues. Immediate free ball. Nobody home to spike it. Buzon. And then Papa will not convert just yet. Sa likod. Ordaz says, let's put a stop to this madness.
Of course, Ordaz being such a reliable player.
That was a power spike presented by Smart Power All 99. Load now. Lois, they needed a point. Pasay needed it bad. But Aiko stepping out. Itong si Rocafort, ang kapalitan ni Venice Puzon. Be the one serving, and that is painful coming off a substitution.
So I definitely agree to that, especially of how itong Pasay are already building their momentum, especially coming from the attack of Ordaz. Unfortunately, another error was committed. Another free point was giving out para dito sa Caloocan.
Caloocan is just down by 1. And not anymore. We are all tied up. Papa commits a crucial mistake.
And I think this scene looks familiar, especially from their previous matchup.
What a set this has turned out to be. Rocafort. Baon kung baon. El Capitana gets a point.
Of course, it really does make a change when you have Kim Son inside the court. You really needed her leadership, especially na lumalapit na itong scores ng Caloocan.
Ooh, that's a fall. Lacerna still has it. Free ball na naman. Plan to give it quick. Manalo. All the way towards the Pasay Rainbow.
And Manalo really made sure that there's a lot of power on that attack.
Manalo now has 7. Kim Son again. Has enough space to operate and get a point.
Yung medyo hindi nahawakan ni Kim Son yung atake na yon, but still a point is a point.
The art of the check ball. Kim Son wants to make it happen still. Shika chooses the middle. Triple block. Juanillo goes slow. Andun si Papa. Almost a free ball again. And an error right back. Caloocan and Pasay are neck and neck.
For both teams, they're now scrambling with their defense. And of course, exchanges of errors is also present, especially on the side of Pasay.
Tanagan wants to be in a solid position to serve. They were ready. Kabila naman. Caloocan keeping the ball in play, but nobody home to get it across.
This is one of the things that Caloocan really needs to work on right now. Their follow-up, and of course yung alertness into understanding, kasi sayang yung mga ganong bola eh. It was saved.
Especially sa ganito kadikit. At ganito kadulo ng set number 2, you can't afford to make those mistakes. And Puzon forces them to commit another one. Not really the one to score. And then a service ace lands them in. Let's hear Coach Mike Palermo on Caloocan.
Ikaw ba nasa harap? Nasa likod ka ba, Rhea? O sige na, kapag ano, sugal mo na ha. Sugal mo na sige.
It seems like Coach Mike is having a hard time thinking of options kasi yung iba sa mga attackers niya nasa likod pa.
Exactly. And from that last time out, sabi niya mag-risk na lang itong kanyang mga players.
And that's a risk. From what I'm seeing.
And it's good that Shika Espinosa immediately translated itong gustong mangyari ni Coach.
(23) serving 24. Ball kept alive. Espinosa. Nobody home. And what a painful way to put an end to set number 2. Caloocan right there, taking the lead every once in a while. But Espinosa closed out this set in favor of the Pasay Lady Voyagers, who are just waiting for one more set.
Projects, plan, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now.
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
Tara, sama-sama nating tuklasin ang ganda at galing ng aming maunlad na syudad, ang lungsod ng Dasmariñas, kung saan umuusbong ang kamangha-manghang industriya ng komersyo at turismo. Isa rin sa dinadayo sa aming lungsod ang mga resorts na nagagandahan at mga restaurants na tiyak na babalik-balikan. Napahanga rin ang mga turista sa aming mga infrastruktura na tunay na pag-unlad ang ipinapakita. Hatid nito ang mas mabilis at maayos na serbisyo para sa bawat Dasmariñeño, maging sa mga bumibisita rito. Tas makulay ang kasaysayan. Tas maganda ang kalagayan. Tas masaya ang mamamayan. Kultura, komersyo, turismo. Tara na! Dasma tayo!
25-17, 25-23. It's just one more ang hinihintay dito, but this set number 2 was closer than what people expected it to be. Caloocan had a fight on it, pero yung mga crucial na mistakes na nangyayari sa kalagitnaan o sa dulo pa nga ng laban are what cost the AM Spikers the set to be given to the Lady Voyagers.
Well, for Pasay, even with that adversity na lumalapit na itong Caloocan in terms of scores, they still remained ready and steady and slowly recovered para dito sa kanilang mga errors. And unfortunately, on the side of Caloocan, errors are just piling up on their side. As you can see here, Caloocan gave out 10 errors for Pasay. And dito sa aces, medyo naging parehas pa nga, lumawang pa itong blockings ng Caloocan. But in terms of attacks, and mas naging effective itong pinakita ng Pasay, of course, courtesy of Antipuesto. We also have Kimzon na pumasok in the middle of the set. And of course, itong good decision coming from Puzon. Especially, she was able to contribute also an ace a while ago.
Alam mo kung paano tinapos, paano hinabol ng kupunan ng Caloocan yung set number 2 should be the way we see them here as a block happens and a successful attempt for Melendres gets the point for Caloocan.
And para dito sa Caloocan, they are always starting off strong. They just need to remain consistent.
Melendres gets her first point. Pero si Antipuesto, nando na naman sa gitna.
And we all know how good Antipuesto is into guarding the net. She's not only good with offense, but also dito sa net defense.
That's another rotational fault in favor of all of the ladies wearing pink.
Another error from Caloocan.
Sa mga ganitong moments na alam mo na kaya mo talagang manalo, ito yung masakit eh. Just committing errors for 2 consecutive possessions in a row as Cosmod gets an ace.
Caloocan, they just needed something to shake off the atmosphere. As you can see, parang medyo naglaylo itong Caloocan.
And another one. Cosmod finding the middle consistently.
Very sharp serve.
And very specific yung target niya, no? Ito talagang si Nieva. Challenging her on a consistent manner. Leading to a free ball. Quick. It was there for La Serna until it wasn't.
And again, I'll mention it again. Follow up yung kulang para dito sa Caloocan. They have good attackers. They have Espinosa also doing wonders for her team. Fulfilling the role that she was given in.
Juanillo doesn't convert. All of a sudden, we're looking at the 4-0 run nitong Pasay. Stoppage again. Ordaz. Juanillo had to dig for that reception. Attack from the middle goes long.
I think they're still trying to contest. Meron ba talagang check ball? But it seems like medyo nahirapan din sa pagwela itong si Melendres. As you can see, medyo nakailalim na siya from that attack.
This is 6 straight points now. I was about to say 5, but then another Krisha Cosmod.
And Cosmod really wants to be hailed as the queen of the court again.
Putting the work on this. Pero ramdam mo yung gigil dun sa spike na yun itong si Rhea Manalo.
We can really see how eager she is into wanting to score.
Goes off. Ball still kept alive. And I believe that's an ace.
I think it really does make a difference when someone is stepping up. Kanina medyo umaba itong performance ng Caloocan, but I would say because of Manalo's attack. The fire is back on the side of Caloocan, and also because of how well Melendez is also performing on the service line.
Now this is surely an ace if those were 4 touches. Pasay can't get a hand on that one. Papa slows it down. Everybody from Pasay was just ready to throw it down. And they were there to claim a point. 8-4 in favor of the Lady Voyagers.
Game with Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable for only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now.
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
If you might or might not notice, mas kalmado na si Coach Michael ng Caloocan AM Spikers sa mga huddle nila ngayon. And yes, intentional yan. Alam niyang ang sakit matalo sa halos lahat ng games. At inamin niya mismo na nakakalungkot talaga. But now that they want to finish strong, iba na ang approach niya. Less stress, more clarity. Hindi yung parelax lang, pero a shift in vibe para mas gumaan ang laro. Sabi pa niya, gusto niyang lahat ng players magkaroon na ng exposure at playing time. Para sa kanya, kung magtatapos ka rin lang, gawin mo na ng buo, masaya at walang bigat sa loob. The kind of end they'd still be proud of. Hans and Lois.
Maraming salamat, Queen Barcarce, for that one. It is, you know, quite understandable. Given in this situation, the only way that you can go is up, and that is what Coach Mike Palermo is expecting out of his players. And right there, Manalo responding to the trust na ibinigay sa kanya so far.
Now, Rhea Manalo have contributed 9 points in this match. And I'd like to go back doon sa report ni Queen Bacarse. with how coach is giving opportunity for other players, and you have the likes of Biñan, also one of the top performers right now.
This one right here, though, is a power spike presented by Smart Power All 99. Load now. Papa was locked in. And another rotational fall galing sa Caloocan. Of course, they want to play with no pressure at all, but their errors in the earlier what's making it so difficult for them so far. Ball kept alive. What an attack. Still good to play. A rare Puzon attack and approach.
You can see na tinatawanan lang nila yung error na yon coming from Puzon. So at least something na hindi naman makakasira sa mood.
Here's an attack. That will surely go in. Flores Papa on the board once more.
Flores Papa also one of the top performers para dito sa Pasay. And gave out another a powerful long ball.
Nieva had to find a way to work with it. She cannot.
It's the wrist action for Dara Nieva that she needs to work on from that last sequence.
Papa now with 6 points. And the other player wearing number 6 misses on an attacking attempt. Ledesma commits an error. And a timeout's gonna be called by Caloocan. Let's listen in on Coach Mike.
Natin. Sayang ko. Tawag dito sa mukha pa natin yan habulin. Tulad kanina, medyo malayo din yun yung second set. Habulin nyo na habulin. One good pass lang one good pass lang.
It's a movement thing that Coach Mike is saying. Habulin in terms of points. At habulin din pagdating dun sa galaw, because the follow-up is what they're missing, just like what you said, Lois.
And it's really important, especially in the play of volleyball, na merong attempts, whether it be on attack, on defense. Attempts should always be present.
Papa just waiting for the right time to go for the serve. Just not there. Had to shrug it off.
And also Caloocan needs to be reminded of the basics kasi yun yung nawala sa kanila, especially for this set.
There is the one at the middle. Astilla na naman.
And that attack work was medyo bumagal. Itong mga blockers ng Caloocan.
Astilla now with 4. Espinosa tosses it to Nieva. And another long take. It goes into the favor of Pasay once again. Cruising, comfortable and calm. No pressure for the Lady Voyagers. They lead by 9.
Plans, play, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now!
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
Catch all the games live and free exclusively on pusop.com. Your game, your community. Join now. Also powered by Smart, the official telco partner of the MPVA. Special thanks to our media partners Smart Sports and Puso Pilipinas. This is a mountain of a lead ng Pasay after establishing so much and some errors na nanggaling din sa Caloocan. And as I say it, there it goes again. No space for Shika to operate.
And from that last sequence, I think medyo nagsa-struggle pa itong connection ni Chicken as well as Melendres. Because also, being a middle blocker, iba yung tempo eh. But of course, because of their situation, Melendres needs to make an adjustment, especially dun sa approach.
Shika lands it for Nieva in a better way. Who's on free ball. Nieva goes soft. Back row. Both teams starting to slow it a little down. But Nieva wants to speed things up. Kabila na naman. But Cosmo goes wide.
And now, it's time for Caloocan to collect themselves and also take advantage dito sa error. Kasi kanina, nahabol naman nila eh. So they can still do it again. Just have to remain consistent and as well as work on the areas that they need to improve on.
Nieva. Flicking of the wrist is now successful. Almost reaching double digit in terms of points.
I think it's a good angle for Dara Nieva.
9 serving 17. Making it a little difficult.
Hesitations para dito sa dalawang defenders. We have Tanagan, a former libero, and also Chin Lacerna. Medyo hesitant on that defense.
Parang hindi pa sila sanay na magkasama silang dalawa because they're used to playing the same position. And that's how it's usually gonna be. Pero para kay Nieva, she's used to getting points on the board as much as she can.
And slowly, Nieva is on fire again.
That's off and in. Para kay Antipuesto na naman, gathering some more points on the board.
Of course, we can see kung gaano na din kaganda yung connection nito ni Puzon as well as Antipuesto.
But an error from Cosmod is gonna give Caloocan a little bit more. This was the same situation, that Caloocan was in set number 2. It was 10-19, and then they managed to chase. But unfortunately for Caloocan, it won't be the same as last time as the point goes to Pasay. They get number 20.
Again, a lot of errors for Caloocan.
Goes out. And the favor was returned right back nitong si Antipuesto.
Of course, exchanges of errors for both teams.
That's an ace. Secured by Dal Rimpol Lingay. Hasn't seen a lot of minutes in this game so far, but she's making the most out of it.
Exactly. And it's good na ito yung mga gustong makita ng mga coaches eh. Yung once na pinasok mo yung players, they be able to perform and do their job.
What a rejection mula kay Shika Espinosa. They're making a late run. That's 3 straight points. Ordaz doesn't give any time for the defense to be set.
And I think Urdas really mastered that attack. It's really worthy of that spot.
Now in double figures. Itong si Aiko Ordaz, but she will be stepping out as more players would be starting to come in here. This is the 6 that Coach Camila Banto entrusts in. Another point para sa Pasay, courtesy of Rocafort's service. In Caloocan, they're gonna have to talk things over for one more timeout.
Basta go lang tayo, okay? Napag-usapan naman namin ito eh. Nasabi ko naman sa iba na balak ko kapag wala ng pag-asa, paglaruin na lang lahat.
The looks of it, it feels like Coach Mike Palermo is already waving the white flag. She only has 10 players on her lineup sa araw na ito. Lacerna playing all of the minutes. And they're not in the best position right now.
Exactly, but of course, this thing wanted to end on a good note. But unfortunately, another error was committed. Also, very consistent Rocafort on the service line.
Parehas nung kanyang 2 puntos ay galing sa service line. And you know what? I will stop talking for a moment. Para lang sure. That was on me. Still, it's 15 to 23. Off it goes. Another error. That's 2 straight para sa Caloocan. You know, Pasay has been doing well, really well, except for when they're trying to close out games na dun sila medyo nahihirapan.
Exactly, yun talaga yung kulang sa kanila, yung panapos. Well, opposite yung nangyayari sa kanila dito. Ng Caloocan is starting off strong, pero naglalay low. On the other hand, for Pasay, slowly sila nagre-rebuild ng momentum.
But for Flores Papa and the rest of Pasay, this one I think was a little easier compared to the first 2 sets. Now at match point they are. Nieva goes in. Won't go. Espinosa. And another attack is there. Pero nandun din si Lingay. Second try. Another attack. Almost dropping. A third one. Wouldn't convert. And it seems like Pasay is just having a lot of fun with Deception being on the floor.
And medyo may adjustment lang doon sa set na yon. It's still an opportunity for Caloocan. And isa yun sa mga mahabang rally that we've seen in this match. As much as possible, Caloocan. Gusto nilang ilaban tong match na to.
They're really rooting for Deception to score. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. Wrapping up this game is an unlikely hero. Checking things once and for all para sa Pasay to still be in contention of their chance at a Final Four spot. 25 to 17 in this last set. What a win para sa Pasay Lady Voyagers. Just so much effort, so much poise, and all smiles in that last point to secure 3 more for their team and separate themselves a little better from Negros and San Juan, who are looking for their chances. It's 25-17, 25-23, and 25-17. Pasay sweeps Caloocan.
Projects, plans, play, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now.
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
Tara, sama-sama nating tuklasin ang ganda at galing ng aming maunlad na syudad, ang lungsod ng Dasmariñas, kung saan umuusbong ang kamangha-manghang industriya ng komersyo at turismo. Isa rin sa dinadayo sa aming lungsod ang mga resorts na nagagandahan at mga restaurants na tiyak na babalik-balikan. Napahanga rin ang mga turista sa aming mga infrastruktura na tunay na pag-unlad ang ipinapakita. Hatid nito ang mas mabilis at maayos na serbisyo para sa bawat Dasmariñeño, maging sa mga bumibisita rito. Tas makulay ang kasaysayan. Tas maganda ang kalagayan. Tas masaya ang mamamayan. Kultura, komersyo, turismo. Tara na! Dasma tayo!
Only projects, plans, play, game! With Smart Only 5G, valid for 3 days. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Simply reliable. For only 85 pesos. With Smart, load now.
Kick Mobile. Download the Kick app, choose your number, activate the eSIM, and own the country's first ever customizable mobile experience. Stay first in line for network priority. Kick Mobile. Download now.
Your final score is still within your screens, and this is a really good game para sa Pasay Lady Voyagers to still have an opportunity para manatili sa race towards that final 4 spot. Our Queen of the Court would be none other than Chris Cosmod, just really affecting the game in such a big way over the last 3 sets.
I would definitely agree, and we've seen how she really performed and how she was able to influence and set the mood for her team. May mga setbacks on the previous set, but her performance was really vital para makakuha sila ng panalo, another win against Caloocan.
That right there is Chris Cosmod, and she is with our courtside reporter, Quinn Barcarce. Quinn and Cosmod, take it away.
Yes, I'm with the first Queen of the Court for today, di ba? Iska Cosmod. Iska, alam natin, vital win to para sa inyong semifinals berth. What keeps you hopeful and motivated na ipanalo pa itong inyong remaining games?
Though medyo low morale yung team namin kasi nga sunod-sunod yung talo namin. But the coaches and the team captain always reminds us to enjoy na lang the remaining games. Though I think may chance pa kami pumasok sa top 4 and siguro yung nawala sa amin nung previous game is yung enjoyment, yung eagerness to win. So yun yung in-apply namin for today's game.
Masasabi mo bang nag-enjoy ka ngayong game na to?
Yes po, of course.
Kung meron kang isang na-enjoy talaga sa larong ito, ano yun?
Siyempre, every point na kino-contribute ng bawat isa, yun. Yun, nag-enjoy kami every point sa na-celebrate namin. And yeah, every point is important talaga.
Congratulations, I'm happy you enjoyed this. But if may gusto kang pasalamatan, batiin, now is your time, Iska.
I would like to greet my family sa Lanao del Norte, Cosmod family, D'Italia family, and Villacruz's family, and to my family sa Cebu, and my teammates, Southwestern University teammates, and yung sponsor po namin, the Mayor Emmy Calixto Rubiano, Sir Igay Rubiano, Expedia Management Incorporation, My Pet Space Pet Hotel and Snack Bar, the Philippine Air Force, Pangoy's Private Resort, Progeny Marketing Incorporation, Leon, JVA Security, Commanding General Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Major General Aristotol Gonzalez, Colonel Bodigon, Colonel Magbanwa, Ma'am Kalay Chua, and Ma'am Len. Lahat ng mga taga-Pasay na sumusuporta po sa Pasay Air Force. Thank you po.
Congratulations for this win, Iska. And most importantly, masaya kami na na-enjoy mo din itong larong na to. That's it for us, Hans and Lois.
Maraming salamat to Quinn and Iska for that really solid performance in this game. It was an all-out effort from them na naging malinis, especially in that third set finish. But here, so far, your Smart's Powered Up plays brought to you by the Smart Only 5G. Only 85 pesos for 3 days. Download the Smart app and load now. In summary, set number 1, what really happened here? How were they able to set the pace, this Pasay squad?
Well, undoubtedly, we saw how Caloocan did perform very well dito sa start of the set. However, medyo naging inconsistent lang on some parts, even giving out more errors as compared to their opponent. But of course, itong mga atake and leadership that we've seen on the veterans on the side of Pasay really paved out to get the win for the first set.
Meanwhile, in that second set, I think that is where Caloocan tend to put up more of a fight, but those errors have been what's making it so difficult para dito sa kupunan ng Caloocan to respond, thus given another victory para sa Pasay Lady Voyagers. And in that set number 3, I think that is where this Pasay team started to pull away.
Well, as you can see here for our third set, well, speaking of consistency, we've seen distributed plays. We have Antepuesto, we have Astilia, and of course Cosmod and Papa contributing for a win para dito sa last set. But then again, we saw na medyo nag-laid back itong Caloocan. There are more errors, medyo hindi maraming errors, and they've been struggling na madepensahan itong mga atake ng Lady Voyagers. But then again, for Pasay, they were able to recover, especially dun sa kalamangan at paghabol sa kanila ng Caloocan coming from the set 2.
That is the chase that they are still looking for, that was closed out ng kupunan ng Pasay. Match summary, 75 to 57 in terms of the scoring output. Anything that stands out for you here, Lois?
Well, as you can see here, with Caloocan's 23 points, mas malaki talaga itong nabigay ng Pasay with 37 in terms of blocks. Hindi naman nagkakalain as well as aces. And kita rin natin dito, no, yung opponent errors. Both teams gave out a lot of errors. But then again, it was really the good passes and of course yung communication and harmony na meron itong Pasay that gave out the win for this match.
All for the greater good. Just minimal changes in blocks, aces and errors, but attacks really led the charge para sa Pasay Lady Voyagers to move 6 wins and 7 losses dito sa laban natin ngayon and give them more chances para makarating towards the Final Four, dahil ang susunod na maglalaban ay ang pagitan ng Biñan at Negros na hinahabol pa ang kupunan ng Pasay towards that Final Four. In behalf of Quinn Barcarce and Lois Santa Maria, my name is Hans Galeria. Stick with us because MPVA Season 2 will be right back.